my dear viewers. In my past video, I have discussed all the criteria that you need to consider before opening your company in foreign country. Now in this video, I would like to go through all these criteria, examine it from the perspective of Georgia. Why? Because Georgia has been widely considered past few years actually by digital nomads, digital entrepreneurs. There are several jurisdictions that is gaining popularity for past years for digital nomads. All of them has pros and cons, and this is like Singapore, Andorra, Cyprus, Malta, Hong Kong, Georgia, Estonia, British Virgin Islands. This is all jurisdictions that has been popular during past years, and one of them is Georgia, as mentioned. I will not recommend to come to Georgia if your reasoning behind is that your activities won't be shared, and because of two reasons. First of all, if CFC information is not shared, it does not free you from your obligation to declare to your home country. So you still have obligation, and you are not actually legally minimizing but hiding something. That's not what we want to do. And second of all, Georgia is striving for European integration. Georgia has signed different agreements, and we don't want to have bad reputation in the European market. Therefore, if we don't share CFC rules explicitly, we still share some information. And on the other hand, in the future, it is actually possible that Georgia will start sharing this information, and then you are in trouble. And if the reasoning behind opening company in Georgia is only because of CFC, you should carefully think about this. Now let's move to second criteria. I want to follow my previous video, double taxation agreements and the international recognition, right? Some countries that were not actually countries, they were simply made it for offshore jurisdiction, was initially very popular and profitable, but now world find out about the main purpose is that most of the companies that were registered in that jurisdiction were about, and unfortunately it was about only fraud. Therefore, if you are opening your company in those jurisdictions, so you are risking your reputation. If it's okay for you to risk your reputation, then it's fine. But you may face problems with banking, because banks really are cautious now about opening accounts with individuals associated with offshore jurisdiction. If you want to operate long term, if you want to have legitimate business, then you better go to real country, which is not only made for offshoring reasons, but it's actually real country. Georgia is the real country. Georgia has double taxation treaties with many countries. Actually, with Georgia has 56 active double taxation avoidance treaties, to be more precise. I will link in my blog those countries. You can go to your country, your home country specifically, and read this summary. I will not go to 56 countries one by one right now, but all I want to tell you with this, that there are double taxation treaties. The name tells you itself. It was made in order to free your obligation, and in order for you not to be paying taxes twice. So if you come to Georgia and start your business in Georgia, you most probably won't pay your taxes twice. But your intention is probably not that you pay the same, you don't pay taxes twice, but you pay less taxes, right? We will talk about it later. It does not matter you live in Georgia or you don't live in Georgia, you pay the same amount of taxes. And why Georgia is most appealing for IT business, because IT business is tax-free in Georgia. Online business like this is tax-free in Georgia. Basically, there is no profit tax. On advance of that, if you have foreign clients, you are VAT so-called also sales tax free. You don't pay sales tax, basically you don't pay any tax. In the only tax maybe yet you will need to pay will be dividend tax, which is 5%, and you pay it with tax base of distributed profit. Once you distribute the profit, you pay dividend tax. If you don't distribute your profit and live in your company, then you don't pay any tax. And according to double taxation treaties, there are actually some country residents that are completely tax-free, so they don't even pay these 5% of dividend tax. We'll list right now all these countries which are completely tax-free. These are United Arab Emirates, Estonia, Qatar, Malta, Singapore, Bahrain, San Marino, Cyprus, Liechtenstein. All these countries are completely tax-free for their IT businesses in Georgia, and other country residents pay 5% on their distributed profit. This is if you establish LLC, limited liability company, but the other workaround is that if your business is not scalable enough, if it's a one-man show, then you can establish individual entrepreneurship instead of LLC with virtual zone status. If you establish individual entrepreneurship in Georgia, you pay 1% of your gross income, and that's all the taxes that you pay for your business. Basically, if you don't know what is the difference between a limited and new individual company, then leave a comment and subscribe, and I will also make a video explanation with clear differentiation between these two types of legal form. But this video serves other purposes, so we need to move forward. Now, as we discuss taxation for online business in Georgia, what are the implications between those people who does not live and who live in Georgia? Those people who does not live in Georgia and live in the countries that I mentioned right now, the country that actually imposes taxes on your foreign income, then you are gonna be paying taxes also in your home country, right? That's why most of the people relocating, some of the people actually would like to relocate in Georgia and get the Georgian tax residency. Now we need to differentiate Georgian tax residency and work residency, right? This is two completely different things, which actually most of the people mix it. Work residency, it's really easy to get. Once you hit turnover of 50,000 lari, then you're eligible for this type of residency. You don't need even to be living in Georgia. But for tax residency, you need to be living in Georgia at least half of the year. So that's when problem comes in terms of residency, because if you are not a tax resident here, I think you need to find out in your home country. Probably you will be obligated to pay taxes in your home country as well. But there is very special workaround in terms of tax residency. You can get tax residency easily without living in Georgia, and this is for high net worth individuals. High net worth individuals are those who have proven 60,000 euro each year for past 3 years. If you have 60,000 euro income for past 3 years, then you are considered as high net worth individual, and you can get Georgian tax residency straight away. And when you are a tax resident in Georgia, that's why most of the people strive for tax residency in Georgia. You are only taxed on your Georgian source of income, and due to the fact that Georgia has taxation system territorial, then you are not taxed on your income from your foreign source once you're a tax resident in Georgia. So there are two ways to get tax residency in Georgia: to have a business and actually live in Georgia, and to be a high net worth individual. Other than that, it's gonna be hard for you to get tax. Yeah, we are ready to support you. Just contact us. This is our website. And also I will link my website in the description, where you can find my contact information. Feel free to send us inquiry. We will reply you as soon as possible. To sum up, I will say that in Georgia you just pay 5% of dividend tax on distributed profit for your online business, for your IT business. And people are looking for tax residency in Georgia in order to free themselves out of paying taxes in other home countries, or taxes on their foreign sources. So that's why the Georgia legally gives you this framework right now. And there is tax residency, two ways to get tax residency: high net worth individual versus living in Georgia. Tax resident in Georgia, you pay 5% of tax on distributed profit if you have LLC with virtual zone status, which is I can help you to get it easily. And second of all, if you have individual entrepreneurship, then you just pay 1% of your gross income. That's it. You don't pay anything on your foreign income, and that's the way to minimize your tax in Georgia. I think I already outlined most important aspects of Georgia. Why is it appealing for online business, especially, right? I will just go through the rest of the factors really fast. I don't want this video to be very long. So, how stable is the Georgian economy? Like, Georgian economy and business environment is pretty favorable. The rules is the same for foreigners as for Georgians. There is no minimal capital requirement in banks for businesses. Only requirement after company formation you have is to meet taxation and accounting obligation. We do offer accounting services. It's pretty simple, and Georgia has been ranked among World Bank report of doing business 6th easiest place to do business in the world. So I think with that said, we answered the question: how stable and how safe is your investment in Georgia right now? Also, if you want to see this report, go to my blog post about this topic, which will be linked in the description. And before clicking this blog, support me by clicking the subscribe button and leaving comments. I read all the comments. And let's talk about e-commerce as well. Georgia, you can use PayPal and other. You can easily withdraw money from PayPal. There is a little trick. Some people were not able to withdraw in Georgia money from their PayPal accounts because you should have Visa card in order to withdraw. MasterCard is not acceptable, but it's very easy for foreigner to open bank account in Georgia and to receive Visa card. When you receive Visa card, you can easily withdraw money from PayPal. And Georgia, most prominent banks, Bank of Georgia and TBC, they offer also payment gateway for your e-commerce store, where people can pay with MasterCards, Visa cards, and you can easily implement it with your online store. Georgia is an eligible country for FBI, Amazon. That you probably want to know about the banking system in Georgia. First of all, yes, it's very easy for foreigners, especially for those who come from the European Union or the US, Australia, South Africa, many countries. It's very easy to open bank account. It's as easy for foreigners as for Georgians. But to be completely fair, if you have $10 million turnover per month, is the Georgia banking system most favorable for you? Probably no. But if you have like legitimate business for a few thousand, then bank's gonna support you. It's gonna not be a problem for you, unless probably as per my investigation, it's assumption, unless you have some connection with offshore jurisdictions. Once banks find out your connection with offshore jurisdictions, I think they are gonna close accounts. That was happened last month with my clients. They don't give you explicit reason for this reason, but I'm guessing that's the reason. After company formation requirements, it's just accounting and taxation monthly that you need to put in place. Hit us up. We offer reasonable accounting services if you're interested to. Also, you are not legally required to have Georgian representative, director, or shareholder. You can be 100% owner of the company in Georgia. But if you want to management company in place, then also we can offer you this service. The most importantly, for many countries like the European Union, the USA, the Austria, the South Africa, all these countries that I mentioned, it's you don't need work permit to have business in Georgia. You can legally stay in Georgia 1 year without any problem and have business activities. Even if you cross the border within this 1 year for a few hours, then you can stay 1 more year here without any problems. But if you would like to have work permit here and don't want to cross the border all the time, then it's very simple, relatively simple to get work permit. If you have legitimate business, you just need to hit the roof of 50,000 lari turnover, and after that you're eligible basically to apply for work permit. It's not only requirement, but it's the main requirement, and I think other requirements you will meet easily if you're legally living in Georgia. And last to mention is Georgia so-called tax haven. Georgia has become tax haven for digital entrepreneurs, businessmen, digital nomads, regional investments, because Georgia, as I mentioned, offers very favorable taxation system, very good business environment. It has international recognition with the double taxation treaty with 56 countries, and also invoices from Georgia are accepted in countries like Germany, and you can deduct costs. And not only Germany, many other countries, almost all the countries, you can deduct costs with Georgian company invoices, and it's not listed as tax haven. As I mentioned earlier in this blog, for some countries that are considered tax haven, they have bad reputation, and sometimes if you're incorporating in these countries, it can negatively affect your reputation, which we don't want. Georgia is a real country and it's recognized internationally. If you have any questions, special topics that you are interested in and want to see next video about, feel free to leave the comment. So that's it. Thank you for watching. So goodbye.